Hi everybody, it's Laura. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Today I have a layout that I made using the My Creative Scrapbook limited edition kit from October of 2023. I recently posted another video to my channel that I made using the same kit, and I'm going to be using photos that are also from the same place as that layout if you happen to see it. I walk around Rockland Lake, which is a lake that's fairly close to my house, with my daughter all the time. And we often take pictures of the wildlife that we see. So I'm going to be using another one of my wildlife pictures on this layout. Whenever I'm adding sprays or modeling paste to my layout, I like to use a piece of thick white cardstock that's smooth and coat it with some white gesso. I am also using some modeling paste through a stencil, and instead of my usual adding sprays, which I will do in a moment, I'm going to add some embossing powder to the modeling paste to make it a little shiny. You really won't be able to see the leaves because I'm using white embossing powder over white paper, but once I add the sprays to the background, you'll be able to see the leaves a little bit better. I use my heat tool and I heat emboss the embossing powder, and now I'm going back in with some sprays. And the spray that I'm using here is a Lindy's Starburst spray, and the color is called Saltwater Taffy. The embossing powder acts as a resist, meaning that the sprays will go onto the paper all around the image, but it won't stay on the image too much. A little bit of it does cling a little bit to the leaves, but for the most part, the sprays will help to highlight the image. So then I was thinking that I wanted to add a little bit more embossing to the top right-hand corner. There's going to be two clusters. One of them is in the upper right-hand corner. The other one is in the lower left-hand corner. But the one on the right hand, that's going to be the one that has the photo, and that's going to be the larger cluster. So I expanded it a little bit so you'd be able to see the leaves sticking out from behind the embellishments. So here I'm repeating the process. I added a little bit more embossing powder. I used my heat tool to set the embossing powder, and then I added more of the saltwater taffy spray on top. You can see here I'm using a piece of plastic to spread the color around. That's my favorite way to spread color. I like the way it gives kind of a random look. With a paintbrush, I feel like I will make lines, but this way it's just kind of like a splattering in the background. And talking about splattering, I'm adding some splatters to both of those clusters. I wanted there to be a little bit of splattering on top of the areas and then also some all around the outside edge of the cluster. I go through different stages. Sometimes I like to use more than one color on my backgrounds, and other times I'll just use one color. And although I only use one color spray on this background, I think that you could see how you can create so many different values of pink just using the one spray by layering the color on top of each other. I feel like this background in particular has a lot of light areas and dark areas, even though I only used one color of spray. So I use one of my favorite techniques that I don't use all the time because it doesn't work with all of the sprays that I have in my stash, but it works with the Lindy sprays. I sprinkle on a little bit of water and then I roll a paper towel over the top, and that will lift up a little bit of the color, and that creates some light areas on the background. And here I'm attempting to use a wipe to kind of polish off those embossed leaves. So the wipe was effective at getting the color that was on the leaves off, but it also took some of the color off of the background. So after I did my work with the wipe, I went back in with some of the spray to add a little bit more color back in. And then I also used the wipe to clean up a few areas where I thought I had a little bit of messiness. I know the whole background looks messy, but I identified a couple of spots that I wanted to remove, and I was able to do that with the wipe because I have the gesso on the page. So I'm hoping that if you haven't tried it already, that you will give making a mixed media background a shot. I think it's so worth giving it a try. And you can see here that I only used one color, and I used a piece of paper that I covered with gesso. That's all you really need to get started with a mixed media background. I think the sprays are really important, and it's a good place to start. You don't have to add any modeling paste or anything the first time, but I really recommend it. Once I started adding mixed media to my backgrounds, I feel like a whole new world opened up with scrapbooking. So if you can, if you want to. I hope you'll give it a try. So this layout was made during my use 2 stencils on every layout era. So I'm using this stencil, which I use all the time. This is the Tim Holtz Dot Fade stencil. It has little teeny tiny dots, and they just seem to make every layout look a little bit better. In the kit that I was using, there were stamps. So I was thinking I could add a little bit of stamping to the background. These are Bo Bunny stamps, and I'm using some StazOn ink in jet black, and I'm stamping all over these large areas of color. And the image that this stamp makes is so tiny, it's hard to see exactly what it is, but it looks like it's either a bunch of letters or some words, but I guess it doesn't matter what it says because I certainly can't read them. So I want to use this disc. I think it's one of those discs you put in a ViewMaster. Dating myself, those were around when I was a kid, and you would get one that said, for example, the Grand Canyon. You'd put in your ViewMaster and there would be a whole bunch of little pictures of the Grand Canyon in there. That was the technology we had back in the 70s. So I'm using that as my base, and I'm layering a number of cards on top of it. That's going to be my photo cluster, so I'm going to layer my photo on top of all of those cards. I had them arranged the way I wanted them, and so I wanted to quickly attach them down before I messed it up. Not sure if I did that. Looks like I moved them around a little bit, but I was able to figure out how to put them back together again. So the name of this collection is Tranquility, and it's made by 49 and Market. And 49 and Market often puts little tabs into their ephemera packs. So I added one to the cluster, but I'm going to end up removing that. The photo that I'm going to use would have covered most of it up anyway. Now I'm working on the smaller cluster. There were 2 tags that I thought might look nice on the layout. I was going to add them both to the cluster on the bottom, but then I decided to move the smaller one up to the top cluster. So to fill out the bottom cluster, I added a circle. It's a clock with a butterfly on top of it. And then I also included some florals behind that. And then I added a little sentiment and a ticket. I end up removing the sentiment, but I leave that little blue ticket there. And then since I put a ticket on the cluster on the bottom, I figured why not put another ticket on the cluster at the top. And now I'm going to add some butterflies like I do on so many of my layouts. The butterflies on this layout, though, are a pretty big part of the composition. Usually they just kind of fade into the background. They're a nice embellishment, but for this layout, they're pretty prominent because I don't have as many embellishments on this page as I usually do. Usually my pages are packed with embellishments, but this one's a little bit more subtle. So I end up moving some of those butterflies around, but for the most part, I was happy with the embellishments, and I started using my adhesive and began attaching them down to my page. Whenever I'm happy with the way something is arranged, and especially if there are a lot of layers to it, I like to attach them to each other and then down to the background as quickly as possible. So I tried out this photo, but I didn't like the way it was so bright. It didn't really go with the subtle tones of the collection. So I'm going to end up switching this photo out, but for right now, this is going to be my photo. I finished assembling the cluster on the bottom, and then I decided I needed to change my photo. So I'm going to use this photo instead. I cut it in a square because I wasn't really crazy about that circle picture. Sorry for that little shift there in the camera. The colors in this picture just go so much better with the collection. The water in the background is a grayish blue that matches so nicely with the grayish blue in the embellishments. And there are also some tans and browns in the collection that go really nicely with the wood that's on the pier. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see the picture super clearly. It's a picture of a pier, and there are so many seagulls all clustered on this pier, and they all are looking kind of uninterested, all in different directions, kind of like they're not really doing a whole lot of anything. And then there's the one bird off to the left with its wings spread out, and it's clearly a different kind of bird. I don't know what kind of bird that is. Maybe a loon? I don't know. There are some loons in our area. And it seems very inspired. It has its wings spread and it's looking out onto the water, and everybody else just looks so bored. I just love the picture. So you can see that I really like this photo, and like I said, it goes along really nicely with the colors in this particular collection. So that ViewMaster disc that I had at the top, it was covered up in a lot of areas, so I thought I could cut some of it away and then use the rest of it on the bottom cluster, because that bottom cluster just looked very light and not substantial enough to kind of balance the bigger cluster off. So that's what I did. I cut it in a way that I was hoping you wouldn't be able to tell, and then I began adding my embellishments on top of it. I used the cluster that I already had and I just layered it over the top. I added some foam to the back of this little butterfly's wings, and then I attached it down to the smaller cluster. I added some leaves right behind my photo, and then I don't know what I was thinking. I found that I had this title that said sweet, but this does not match the photo at all. I think that it's kind of a cool picture, but I definitely don't get sweet from it, so I don't end up using this as my title, and I'm not really sure why I even considered it. I'm going to add some photo corners to my photo, as I often do. I use a pink scrap of paper, and it looks like I inked the edges of some things with Distress ink in Vintage Photo and some things with Distress Oxide in Black Soot. I'm not really sure why I did that, but I'm looking at the layout right now, and it looks like there are a variety of different inks used on it. I don't usually do that, but I don't think it's super noticeable, and I'm not sure what made me make that switch. And this is one of the problems of waiting so long to voice over a video. Since I added some foam to the back of the wings of that little butterfly, I decided I should add some foam to the back of all the butterflies on the page. So here I'm adding a little bit of fun foam to the big butterfly and the little butterfly, and I'll continue to do that with all of the butterflies. So now I have taken everything off of the page, but I still have my clusters intact, and now I'm doing a little bit more stamping. This stamp is a dot stamp. I used to use this all the time. I still use it. It's from a Tim Holtz stamp collection that had a whole bunch of mushrooms on it, but I mainly bought it because I really wanted this stamp, because I liked the way there were little dots in different sizes. So you could achieve a really similar look by adding splatters, but I decided to use the stamp, and I just thought that it looked better to have more stamping than just that little bit of stamping that I had before, just in a few spots. And then I guess I figured I have some dots, why not add a few more splatters? So I guess I use a combination of splatters and stamping to make those dots on the background. And then after I added a few black splatters, I added some white splatters too. And both of these splatters are acrylic paint. I put them in a little bottle and I add a little bit of water, which makes it a little easier to splatter them around. And then after I added the splatters, I let the background dry thoroughly. Acrylic paint can take a little bit of time to dry. And then I layered my clusters back on top of my layout. And then after I returned the clusters to the layout, I also put the butterflies back in place. So whenever I have tags on my layouts, I always like to add something to them. Sometimes I'll add a brad, sometimes I'll add some twine, maybe a bow. For this layout, I thought that adding some natural looking cord would be the best match. So I use that on the larger tag on the bottom, and then I'm also going to use it on the tag at the top that's facing sideways. And for this layout, I just left the pieces of string hanging. I didn't tie them in a bow or anything. I think that added a nice little touch to the layout too. So I always like to add some pearls to my backgrounds, or enamel dots or jewels. For this layout though, I'm using some strips of 3mm pearls. These are self-adhesive, and I'm running them down the centers of the butterflies. It's something that I really like to do, and I do it on many of my layouts. And although I continued doing this for a long time, now I find that I will often take the little jewels or pearls and kind of sprinkle them across the wings. I think that that's another look that looks kind of cool, and it's a little bit different for me, so I like trying new things. I decided to use this chipboard set for my title. It says Our Story. I used an embossing powder that's called Celedon by the Powder Keg, and I embossed it, and I think that this color also matches really well with the embellishments on the page. Sometimes it can be hard to match embossing powder. Sometimes you don't know what it's going to look like once you heat emboss it. And I have found that you can sometimes layer colors on top of each other to change the color a little bit, but that gets a little bit tricky. I just got lucky I had a matching color. Well, that was the last touch. The layout is complete, and here are a few close-ups of my page. So I have 3 more older videos to voice over. I'm really excited that I'm finishing this up. I have been wanting to get this done for so long, and I'm really happy that I was able to find some time over the summer to finish up these videos. And I really hope that you enjoyed this one. And if you watched any of the others, I hope that you are enjoying those as well. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. I also appreciate all of your really kind comments. And as soon as I'm done with these last 3 videos, I'm going to start answering them, but I have been reading them and I really enjoy them. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.